Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be practicing again how to subtract fractions with the same denominator. But this time we're going to have to do a little bit of borrowing. You'll see what I mean as we do the problems. Let's just jump into the first one. 1 1/3 minus 2/3. So when we're subtracting these, they have the same denominator, but when we try to subtract the numerators of the fractions, we realize that 1/3 is less than 2/3. So we're going to have to borrow from the whole number in this first number so that we have enough in the fraction to subtract the numerators. So what we're going to do is turn 1 1/3 into an improper fraction. So to do that, we're going to do 3 times 1, which is 3, plus the numerator, which is 1, which is 4. So our rewritten problem looks like 4/3 minus 2/3. And now we have a big enough numerator in the first number so that we can subtract and get something. So let's do 4 minus 2 is equal to 2, and bring over the 3 from before. So our answer is 2/3. Now let's look at the next problem. 3 1/4 minus 3/4. Again, the numerator in the 1/4 is too small so that we can't subtract 1 minus 3. So instead of turning the entire mixed fraction into an improper fraction, why don't we try borrowing one from the whole number to put into the fraction? We're going to do this by first crossing out the 3, and let's say we have 2 here now. Then that means we can convert that 1 that we borrowed into adding more onto the numerator of the fraction. So 1 with a denominator of 4, if you turned 1 into a fraction with a denominator of 4, the numerator would also be 4. So what we took away from the whole number, we can put back into the fraction by doing 1 plus the 4 that we added. So now the numerator is 5. And this makes it more possible for us to just subtract the fraction. So now when we subtract, the whole number is now 2, so we can just bring that over. And now we have a numerator of 5 in this fraction. So we do 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. And 4 from before comes over. So this is our answer, but we can simplify even further by dividing top and bottom by 2. So our final answer becomes 2 1/2. Let's look at the next problem. 3 1/4 minus 1 3/4. Let's try, since we see that the numerators don't work again, let's try doing the borrowing 1 technique that we learned from before. So we're going to cross out the 3. Now the whole number is 2. And we're going to take the one whole number that we borrowed and add it into the numerator of the fraction. Again, it's going to be 1 plus 4, because if you rewrite 1 into a fraction with a denominator of 4, the numerator is also 4. So the top is 1 plus 4 equals 5. Now let's subtract. 2 minus 1, we're subtracting the whole numbers first, is 1. And then we do the fractions. 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. We bring over the 4, and then we can simplify this by dividing by 2 on both top and bottom. And we get the answer to be 1 1/2. Good. Alright, last problem. 3 1/4 minus 2 3/4. Let's do the borrowing technique again. Cross out the 3 right into 2. Turn this 1 into a 5 because we're adding on the extra 1 that we borrowed from the whole number. And now we can subtract. So 2 minus 2 is 0, so we're not going to have a whole number. But our fraction is going to be 5 minus 3 is 2 over 4. And again, we can simplify this by dividing top and bottom by 2. So our answer is just 1/2. That concludes our practice for subtracting fractions with the same denominator, but including borrowing. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.